Vanakkam. Now I'm going to take another important topic in bank audit, where as an auditor you are to look into this certificate, this report. So before long back, we say 15, 18 years back, normally whenever any person approaches a bank, the manager used to ask one question: have you borrowed from any other bank? Normally, though they borrowed, they say that no, I have not borrowed from anyone. So based on his commitment, he will sanction the loan. So this is the trend that was some 15, 20 years back. After this introduction, that is Credit Information Bureau India Limited, that is CIBIL, is being introduced after that time. Then that is the report which as an auditor you are to see. So the expansion for CIBIL is Credit Information Bureau India Limited. It is a credit information company, first of its kind in India. It's being licensed company and that license is being approved by RBI. CIBIL is governed by the provisions of Credit Information Companies Regulatory Act of 2005. This company maintains all the credit related activities, credit card details, and loans which have been availed by companies and individuals. So, all the credit details you can get when you approach CIBIL. Then, banks and financial institutions are members of CIBIL and they'll be treated as registered members. So, that means only banks and financial institutions they will be allowed to act as the registered members of CIBIL. So as an individual, you can't go and register, but you have to pay the fees to get the report. The registered members, that is the banks and financial institutions, are submitting their reports of their finance every month and in some cases periodically according to the loan products. CIBIL prepares CIR, that is Credit Information Report, as well as a credit score based on the details submitted by the banks and financial institutions every month. Based on the report submitted, the CIR is being prepared by CIBIL. All financial institutions taking lending decision based on CIBIL. So this is very much important in the banking area because you are going for the bank audit. You have to call and verify CIBIL. First, let me explain what are the items that is there in the CIBIL report. CIBIL is providing data about the proposed customers to the bank and financial institutions quickly and effectively. If any customer approaches the bank, then this report will be generated by the bank very quickly in order to arrive at the financial status and credit worthiness of the proposed borrower. CIBIL is available for individuals as well as company. Then, who is entitled to get the CIBIL? That's another thing. The registered members, that is banks and financial institutions, they are ready to get the CIBIL report. And if anyone wants to take CIBIL report, they have to pay the prescribed fee fixed by CIBIL. So it can be accessed by the public also. And what are the details that you have to submit to get the CIBIL report? First, you have to give your name. That is, if you are approaching a banker, he will ask the name, address, that is present address, and your PAN card, Aadhaar card, your mobile number. If you got some 3 numbers or 4 numbers, everything you have to give. Then voter ID, driving license, passport if available. These are the things you have to submit to the manager. That is, a borrower has to submit the above details to the bank to get the CIBIL report. So banker, after the receipt of this thing, he will apply to the CIBIL. Then he will generate a CIBIL report. Why the CIBIL is very much important? That is the thing you have to see, because being a chartered accountant who is in practice, even for a general public, the importance you should know. This CIBIL is used during the loan process. In one case, I heard that in one of the alliance, that is marriage alliance, that father-in-law, when was going to be the father-in-law of that man, he asked that boy to take CIBIL because he wants to confirm the credit worthiness of the that way. So that is for rarely they've used, but normally this is being used during the loan application process. Before lending, banks and financial institutions check the CIBIL score and report. CIBIL score and report of the applicant. Then only they will consider the decision of giving the loan or not. Then if there is low CIBIL score, then the application will not be considered. There will be 100% chance to reject the loan application. If the CIBIL score is on the higher side, normally few banks they say that's more than 700 points, then that application will be considered subject to other conditions of the banks and financial institutions. CIBIL is creating the first-hand impression about the borrower, whether to consider the loan application or not. So this is a thing. That's why whenever any person approaches a bank, the manager asks to take the CIBIL first. CIBIL can be taken as reference by the lender, because not to see the credit worthiness, the lender, that is the banker, is using this CIBIL as reference. CIBIL does not create the situation to decide if the loan or credit card be sanctioned or not, because even if the credit score is very good, that is not a condition that the manager has to, that is bank manager has to give the loan or not. It's only a base to know the credit worthiness of the borrower. Then about the credit score. Credit score is in 3-digit numeric value. It is always in the 3-digit numeric value. It represents credit worthiness of an individual. It ranges between 300 to 900. In between that only credit score will come. It is the credit score is being prepared by CIBIL based on the credit history available against an individual. This credit history is being developed. This being arrived by the CIBIL based on the report given by the banks and financial institutions about their lending stages to the bank, about the loan accounting stages, about the payment of loan to the bank. Based on that only credit history is being prepared. Individual with high score has got less risk and they will not make default. This is the decision that the banker is taking. So this is the way in which credit score performs. So it ranges between 300 to 900. 300 is a low score and 900 is a higher score. And credit report about the individuals. See, this you have to, because why I am going in detail in CIBIL, as an auditor, you should read the CIBIL with care, because CIBIL is the base to sanction the loan. If there is anything that is being left out by branch, then you have to report in your audit report. CIBIL report about the individuals, it contains the details from the various financial institutions, banks. Suppose if any individual who has borrowed loans from various financial institutions, various banks, everything is being available in the credit report, because all these reports are being given by the banks and financial institutions separately to CIBIL. Then CIBIL, they will record everything in its file. The detailed report contains information about an individual's history of borrowing and repayment routine, including delays and default. So everything is there in the credit report. Credit report gives individuals' personal information, employment details, contact information, and account details. Everything is there in the credit report. You go to the bank, you ask for the CIBIL, Then you can see everything. So these are the details available. In case of credit report about the companies, it constitutes details of about the company's credit history. There are several segments in the credit report in case of companies. It speaks about the potential lenders to the company, existing credit of the company, any lawsuits pending, and the outstanding amount. Everything is there in that credit report with reference to companies. Loan will be approved only when credit report is good. That is, the score is 300 to 900. Bad credit report reduces a chance to get the loan, and sometimes it will be loan will be rejected. So this is with reference to credit score about the credit report about the company. Then interpreting of credit information report. How to interpret? This decision to lend basically depends on the CIR, that is Credit Information Report. During loan application, all banks and financial institutions consider the credit score, credit information report, and income of the borrower. Based on one only, the loan application will be processed. So, credit score, credit information report (CIR), and income. Only based on that, only loan will be processed. Understanding of CIR, that is Credit Information Report, is important as the lenders consider the CIR before sanction of the loan. Credit Information Report is the base report every banker has to consider before giving the loan. CIR has got 5 sections, that is about the personal information, contact information, employment information, account information, enquiry information. These are the 5 items CIR contains. So we will go step by step. What about the personal information? One can get the personal information. You go and see the CIBIL report in the column personal information, name of the person, date of birth, gender, then identified number, that is based on PAN, voter ID, Aadhaar, passport number, everything will be there in the personal information. Then second thing is contact information, the address. Normally up to 4 addresses. Sometimes that borrower may be shifted from one place to another place. So there will be 4 addresses, up to 4 addresses. The CIBIL CIR will it will give, and the different telephone numbers at different period. Because some 3 years back, that borrower would have availed loan by giving some other telephone number, by giving some other address number. Everything will be there in this CIBIL. CIBIL is nothing but horoscope of the borrower. Even for the year 1980 also you will get. So whenever that borrower did any borrower, every details will be there in the CIBIL, provided the details have to be submitted by the bank to the CIBIL. CIBIL will not get the details directly. The bankers or financial institutions, they have to give the details to the bank. Then the third part of CIR, that is Credit Information Report, is employment information. Suppose if anyone is employed somewhere, his employment details will be there as, that is monthly income as reported as on the date of loan application. Then annual income as reported. Then here you have to say that the declared income is the income declared during the loan application, and it will not be an updated one. This is the thing you have to get from the employment details. And about the account information, in the account information, there's another column will be there. There, the person was given the loan, that is name of the lenders, type of credit facility is given, whether it is term loan, in term loan it is, whether it is auto loan, home loan, cash credit loan, credit cards, etc. Everything will be there. Then account number of the loan account. Then whether that person has availed individually or jointly. Normally this jointly means another guarantor will be there. So if any guarantor is there in the loan, their name, their details will also be included in the CIBIL. Then date of opening the loan, date of the last payment, then loan amount sanction, what is the current balance, month income, month on month record for last 3 years in payment of EMI in term loan for the last 3 years. So that means month on month record for last 3 years. When you look into the CIBIL, there will be column every month what's the amount they have paid, month on month record, whether it's being paid or not, that will be there. For last 3 years, the CIBIL information report it will give. That ensures that only the branch has to ensure that only correct information is being submitted by the borrower, and the borrower has also expected to give correct information to the bank. Then in another column, the status of the account, settled or written off. This is the normal thing which every banker is saying. If any loan is settled or written off, almost in 99 cases, whoever may be, whatever big he is, the loan will be rejected. That manager, he will not take risk, he will not consider. But in spite of that, if the borrower is being considered by the bank, then only you have to see why they consider this application. That is the thing you have to see during your audit. So the status of the account, that can be stated as settled or written off. Settled means part amount is paying, that is one-time settlement. Out of 1 lakh, you pay 30,000 rupees, we will close the loan. So that means part amount is paid. So why they are not considered is, if any part amount is paid, that means that borrower is proved to be a default borrower. You give amount, I will not give the amount back. So he has proved that he is an indisciplined man with reference to finance. So that's why settled dues will not be considered. What about written off? In case of credit card, normally it will be there only in credit card. If in some cases, originally loan will be written off, but in most of the cases in credit cards, if the payments have not been done within 180 days after it has become due, then the CIBIL report says it is written off. So when you look into the CIBIL report, if any column is showing as written off, it will be credit card written off. And if you can analyze the reasons, because here only our role comes into the picture. Why the settled amount figure, why this loan is being written off. Then another word they used is DPD, that is days past due, for every loan or on credit card available. Because STD, that is standard used to say as STD, that is, if the column it is mentioned as STD, that means it is the payments is being paid within 90 days. That is substandard, that means the payments have not been submitted even after that the payment submitted after 90 days. Doubtful means the account has become substandard for 12 months. Loss means the fund will not be collected. Then there will be XXX column. That means the bank has not given the information to CIBIL. So days past due, if it mentions 050 or 080, that means the delay of 80 days are being noticed. And in DPD, if the column mentions 000, then that means there is no delay in making the payment to the bank. And enquiry information, that is the fifth column. Enquiry, normally the borrower used to approach various banks to get the loan, whether this bank is giving, another bank is giving, so they are making enquiry. Various dates you will make enquiry. If that is there, everything is reported as enquiry information in the credit, and as per the credit enquiries in this CIBIL. Then multiple enquiries. Suppose if you have availed a loan from a particular bank, then within a period of 6 months or 3 months, you are making multiple enquiries, then that means that you are in big problem. So that is an indication. And my suggestion is, don't, even as a chartered accountant, as a practicing chartered accountant, you kindly give information to your client. Don't make rowing enquiries with reference to loan availability. This suggestion I want to give. You advise your client, don't take anything like that. Then behavior of the borrower seeking excessive, that's an indication. There will be a lot of inquiries, that means the borrower is in problem. Then frequent entry also will have a very big impact in your CIBIL score. So these are things you have to know. Why this customer has made the frequent entries? If you look into the CIBIL report, if there are say 40 entries, 45 entries, then that means the date of inquiry you have to see. Suppose if you are going for the year 2020, and lot of entries are there, lot of inquiries will be there, then that means the borrower, to whom the bank has given the loan, they are in trouble. And another suggestion I want to say, every year the banker, that is after 1 year of sanction of loan, the banker for their file, they have to take CIBIL, because even without the knowledge, after taking the loan, the banker, they have created a charge, but without the knowledge of the banker, the borrower may have gone to some other financial institution to avail the loan by giving some other property, or he might have stood as guarantor for another one's loan. So this is a thing about the CIR inquiry information. What are the factors that affect CIBIL score? That is a payment history. If there are late payments, then CIBIL score will be less. If there are default in making the EMI, also CIBIL score will be less. Multiple inquiries, that also reduces the CIBIL score, and it is indication of that debt burden has increased. Then high credit utilization, that is your current credit card balance has suddenly increased on the high side, then the credit score will be less. So increase in personal loan without security, also there will be a chance to get a less CIBIL score. And credit mix, that is a very important thing. Then you have to plan, just like tax planning, loan planning should be there. If the mix is correct, that is with reference to secured loan and unsecured loan, you will get a positive increase in the CIBIL score. Then how to increase the CIBIL score? The suggestions are, you have to pay the customer has to pay the dues in time, keep loan balance at a low level, that is less utilization or correct utilization of loan, and good credit mix. Then if he is a co-signed borrower, then that borrower has to follow the other person. Then if he is a guarantor, then joint account. Every month he has to follow the loans for which he has given his name. He has lent his name or he has put his signature. Then the borrower has to review his credit history throughout the year. Then sometimes when you apply for CIR, the CIR say that NA or NH. That means it is not a bad indication. The borrower has got no financial dealing with anyone. That means no loans have been borrowed by the borrower so far. So it should have 0 or NA. Then no credit activity for the last 2 years. Then no exposure to credit cards. If that is the case, the report will say NA or NH. And now in the latest format, CIBIL score is termed as CIBIL score 2.0. That is, it is an updated version. Now the banks have started to switch to this version slowly. It introduces the risk index score, credit industry. If the credit score is now normally considered for 6 months, in the existing CIBIL it is more than 6 months. The range of score is between 1 to 5. If 1 signifies means high risk, 5 signifies means low risk. In the older scheme, it is 300 means it's it's a high risk, 900 means it is low risk. This is a thing with reference to CIBIL 2.0. Normally you will have the doubts. That is, that in the CIBIL, when some borrowers say that, sir, I am not availed anywhere, but there is an entry in this CIBIL. Then how to rectify? This is a normal question everyone is asking. Second one is, sir, I have closed the loan, I have got the no objection, I have not gone for any settlement. Still, my name is still in the CIBIL. And some may say that, sir, I don't know where I have borrowed the loan. I don't know. There is no details in the CIBIL. Then you can get all these details if you click www.cibil.com/CIBIL choose hyphen subscription. Or even you can go and go and enter www.cibil.com, CIBIL.com. Then even if you are not able to get the solution, the address is there in that site. You can approach through the bank, because whenever you say that you are paid, then the bankers, they have to send the report to the CIBIL. Then only that entry will be removed and every record will be created. In case if they are not sent, your name will be there. So even if you are not able to solve that issue, you can the address of the CIBIL, Office of the Administrator of the CIBIL, is available in the site www.cibil.com. You go and click, you will get. And if you want to take the CIBIL, there are 3 types of CIBIL. That is, as a subscriber, you can get it. That is, on payment of 1,200 rupees, you will get alerts from CIBIL. If it is for 6 months, the fees is 800. If it is for 1 month, the fees will be 550. But as an auditor, this is the information you should know. Then only you can come to a conclusion that the customer against whom the bank has given the finance as lent is a good customer. Once again, I am saying that CIBIL is only a reference. But bankers, they have to follow other rules and regulations. With this, I am concluding my speech on CIBIL. Again, I am selling the website address www.cibil.com. Once again, I request all the Learn members to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ravindran V. Nandri Vanakkam.